Many Azimio supporters have been very worried about defections. Many supporters of Raila Odinga are very jittery about people visiting State House, Ruto State House. However, most of us do not realize that actually defections are not what they seem to be. If we look back in history, what defections have done is the very opposite of what you think you're seeing. Defections have ended up strengthening those political parties where people have defected from. And there's something else very final that defections have done. They have ended political careers. Oh yes! People have vanished from politics. Gone kabisa. Because of defecting. Going against the will of the vast majority of people. Now, of course, we know that there are certain regions where defections are more dangerous than in other regions. Like in Luo Nyanza. I don't think I need to say anything more. However, anywhere in the country, you defecting has meant the end of your political career. And I think the example that stands out best to illustrate this is that of a gallant woman who fought very hard for the second liberation of Kenya and would have today been at the forefront of our politics, a very powerful woman today, had she not defected. I'm of course talking about Agnes Ndetei, the former Kibwezi legislator and deputy party leader of the Democratic Party of Mwai Kibaki. After the first multi-party elections in Kenya since independence that took place in 1992, and now we're in the year 1993, you'd have gone anywhere in Kenya and said Charity Ngilu. People would have said, Charity who? As we know, Agnes Ndetei. And in 1993, while in the Democratic Party of Mwai Kibaki, made the fateful decision of defecting to KANU, Mama na Baba. She of course gave the usual excuses, but you know politicians are human beings. They encounter many problems in this life, and especially money problems with politicians are usually much more serious than with the rest of us. Whatever the reason was, after Agnes Ndetei defected to KANU, kwisha maneno politically. It seems that in Kenya, voters, even in very remote, some would say backward places of Kenya, like Makueni County, where Kibwezi constituency is, poverty-stricken people. People are not very well schooled. We have very few professors there. Many have not even gone to school. Even in places like those, voters never forget defectors. Never ever. When you defect from the majority will of the people to the minority government, to the establishment, in exchange for getting out of your money troubles, or certain favors, or maybe you've been blackmailed, whatever it is, your political career kwisha maneno. And it is very instructive that Agnes Ndetei today, do you know what she does for a living? You won't believe this. She sells a herbal remedy that is supposed to cure many ailments in marketplaces in the Makueni area. This once powerful politician who held sway with the masses well beyond Makueni is now selling a herbal remedy. Folks, if you're a politician, ogopa defection. Ogopa sana. And if you have to defect, my advice, make sure you have enough money to last 2 lifetimes. Yeah, because you'll always underestimate what you need for the rest of your lifetime. Pesa huenda haraka sana. So make sure you get as a bribe money for 2 lifetimes, not 1. Hey. And the same fate has befallen very many politicians. Now in the next elections at Kibwezi constituency, Agnes Ndetei was defeated by a newcomer into politics, a man called Kalembe Ndile. Remember him? Handed Ndetei a thorough political thrashing and removed her from the face of politics in Kenya. And there are many, many more names that fell by the wayside, that defected in 1993. Names like Nicodemus Kaniri of Hamisi constituency, who defected in August 1993 to Kano. People like Tom Obondo of Ndiwa, who defected from Fort Kenya to Kano. People like Bochari MP, Protas Momanyi, and so on and so forth. Where are these people today? And so, when you see people defecting today, away from the will of the masses to the establishment, you don't need to get scared. You need something else. You need to sympathize with them. Because what is coming, watajua hawajui. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. Exactly 101 years ago this March, something happened in Nairobi. Something serious. On 14th March 1922, Harry Thuku was arrested. People heard Harry Thuku had been arrested and was being held at the Central Police Station. So almost 10,000 people gathered around that police station, picketing, protesting, demanding that Harry Thuku be released immediately. A woman called Rosemary Nyanjiru. And so as the peaceful protest was going on, Rosemary Nyanjiru approached the soldiers and told them, "Mbona mtoe hizo surali mtupatie sisi wanawake hapa? Hamna kazi." Somebody opened fire on Rosemary Nyanjiru, and the firing continued and continued. The official death toll was 20. The real figure was at least 1,000 Kenyans lost their lives that day for a better Kenya. Whatever you may want to say about Moi, whatever evil you think Moi did, Moi was a good man. And there's a very important lesson for Kenyans here. If such a good man as Moi ended up with the presidency and became the brutal dictator he became and did the things he did, to me it proves that the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya changes good people. It brings out the worst in people. Moi did better than many would have done under the same circumstances. He didn't kill people. He detained them instead. And so the lesson is this. Going forward, you want to choose people who have already been known not to be good people, become president of Kenya. What do you expect? And he stubbornly refused to host Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. In my view, that was a message from Moi to the Kenyans he always deeply cared about, despite everything. And we have to figure out what that lesson was, what he was trying to tell us.